Welcome back, everyone. This is Chance. Today, I just wanted to talk briefly about something I think most people in the figure collecting community tend to completely ignore, and it's all the breaks and imperfections that happen in our collection. I have a lot of cats, and naturally, they've knocked things down over time. I've owned certain figures for 20 years that have just gotten messed up before. I had detolfs and in moving and so many different things. I think we all know it's a taboo subject because if they break, things lose their value, or sometimes we buy things and realize they weren't the quality that we expected. And so I just wanted to be transparent and kind of go over a few things in my collection. If you guys think that they seem bad enough that you'd want to get rid of and no longer have value, definitely let me know in the comments. But also, just I want to show you guys how I handle things, how I maybe have super glued or fixed certain things, or how certain things I decided to just get rid of a part that was broken and decided not to deal with it. So let's just go ahead and get into a couple pieces in my collection right away that have broken, but I've kept around and fixed in one way or another, or other things that I just don't like in some of the pieces that I have. So first off, we have my Scarlet Witch figure. You really can't tell at first that she has anything wrong with her, but these little things on her hand actually are supposed to be connected, not just floating there. And it just kind of broke off last time I moved, and I just have them floating there. I feel like for the most part it looks fine, so this one doesn't really bother me. They were really flimsy to begin with. So what do you guys think? Did you even notice this one before I pointed it out to you? Or would it bother you that it was broken? Let me know. In my next Marvel shelf here, unfortunately this X-23 broke almost as soon as I got her. To this day, she still falls really easily. She's very top heavy the way that she sits on this stand. And she broke off of the stand about a day or two after I got her, unfortunately. So she's super glued in there. But ever since I super glued her, she's fallen a little bit less than when I first got her. And so again, this is one of those things where super glue, I think, made it look better. And it doesn't really bother me anymore because she looks perfect. Now, this is probably the figure I'm the most ashamed of breaking, actually. I got this Deadpool and Wolverine. It was a figure I waited for over 2 years. And when I was filming my Loki video behind it, I dropped it and Dogpool is broken. I super glued some of it. I cannot find the rest of the pieces. I think it just completely shattered the way it fell. I'm so mad about it, but I love this figure so much. I can't find where this little piece goes to, but I keep thinking of just super gluing it onto that front paw, even though it wouldn't be perfect, just so that overall it looks good. From far away, I don't think you can notice. It just looks like a good Deadpool and Wolverine figure with the dog pool, but I'm really ashamed of this one, and it's entirely my fault. I picked up Deadpool and Wolverine from the top of his head, not the base. Dogpool and the base fell to the ground, and it shattered. There's not much I can do about it, but this one is obviously very easy to tell. Next up, I don't really know if you guys would count this as broken or not, but the way that this Pokemon trainer Nendoroid is connected to this has always pissed me off. You can already see how easy he comes off of there, and he falls down more than any figure I've ever owned. Nothing's actually wrong with it, but it angers me to no end. There he goes. And there she is, the culprit herself. My cat Akechi coming in here to mess up more figures. Moving on to the Kingdom Hearts collection. Not a long is wrong here, but this toy box Sora, he comes with the original Kingdom Hearts 3 Collector's Edition. In no way is his head attached. I do not know why, but in posing him every single time, this little connector just does not stay. So I've kind of just keep it balancing there. But yeah, every other figure, those heads lock into place. And this toy box Sora just kind of never has. I think maybe it worked a little better and I shoved it too hard. But I just have him and Riku both like looking up in the distance a little bit. And I feel like that works because there's no way I'd be able to have him looking down. Again, I don't know how much this fully counts as broken, but this old Christmas Sora figure used to have a pumpkin head keyblade, and just in moving over time, it broke. So I just set him really close to Halloween Town Sora so that you kind of don't notice that he's the only Sora figure I have not holding a keyblade. Another figure that you all would probably never even notice in my collection is broken is this Yuna from Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale. Again, she wasn't necessarily broken, but the way this little, like, magical microphone piece connects to her microphone right here, I just got really tired of it falling out all the time, so I super glued that. And then when I moved into this house, this Weathering With You figure, his arm actually broke off. The arm in the back actually broke off, but again, I just super glued it in place, and you'd never really know. As long as they're clean breaks in my collection with super glue, I really don't mind. It doesn't affect my appreciation of it or anything, because I know that you just can't tell. It's the ones like that Deadpool and Wolverine figure that I feel shame for. Again, not necessarily broken, and I don't know when it happened, but this Rico, she's supposed to have glasses. Her glasses were always just something that like floated on her head, and one day I was rearranging my figures and noticed that they just weren't there, and I never saw them again. On this bottom shelf, I have two figures that are messed up. I have this old Soul from Soul Eater, and you can just see he's just really old. His hair's gotten messed up. I've owned this figure since before I had shelving, so he just has old dust and stuff I was never able to fully get off. And then this Wizardmon, originally I was worried that it was bootleg, but then I was able to prove with the box that it is not, because he leaned over so badly when I first got him that it didn't even look good. So we actually had to break off this base and then super glue it back in ourselves in order for him to stand up straight. And so again, you would never notice now, but he is super glued onto that base. And I still kind of feel like he is leaning back pretty far, which is why I feel like he looks best on a bottom shelf here. And then this Prushka right here, she broke my soul. So again, I don't know if this necessarily counts as broken, but this Tomoko Nendoroid is really rare, and I'm really upset because right before I moved into this house, I set a bunch of pieces aside to rearrange her and make her look cool when I moved, and then they got lost in the move, and now I had all these like silly parts that I was gonna make her look like she was freaking out over finding some underwear. And yeah, just I can never change what she looks like now, so she's stuck this way. I feel like one of the curses of getting a fluffy puffy is how easily they stain. I got this really cute one of Baymax, and you can just see this scuff mark on his head. Never able to get rid of it, but I feel like generally when you look from far away, you can't tell all that much. Now, Neliel is, in a weird way, one of my favorite figures, but the thing that's wrong with her is I'm really sure she was a bootleg. The box that she came in was extremely flimsy, and when I got home, I compared a bunch of pictures, and the official figure just looks a little bit different than this. I can't even find the same images anymore that I found when I first got it, but she still looks good. I'm happy with it, but there's a part of my brain that's really sure that this figure's always been bootleg, and that just kind of sticks in the back of my mind. One thing I've always thought too that makes her maybe bootleg is this is very curved, and she does not hold on to it very well, which makes me think she was never built to hold it long term. Speaking of bleach, this Grimjow figure is not something I would typically own. I think that it's bootleg because it has all these extra pegs that don't go anywhere, and I've always thought his paint job just looks really bad. But right when I first started collecting figures, his voice actor was at a con, and so I bought this figure at the con just to have David Vincent sign the voice actor of Grimjow, and just for nostalgia purposes, I can't bring myself to get rid of him, but he's probably the ugliest figure that I still have, and I've never ever known what these extra little stumps were for. Now again, nothing here is actually broken, but these Pikachu, Tanjiro, and friends figures from Demon Slayer, I'm really sure they're unofficial, and I only specifically pointed out because this Inosuke Pikachu falls over all the time. I'm actually insanely shocked while I have the shelf open that it's not falling over right now. Again, fluffy puffy scuff marks here on my Sakura Winnie the Pooh. And ever since I got this Kiro, it's always had like this little weird chip. But that's just fluffy puffies, I guess. They're cute, but they get messed up real easy. And I've actually never known if this is a flaw or not, but when I got this Kenshin Himura Nendoroid, he has this weird like blue mark. I'm not sure if that's meant to just be like a shine line on his hair and it's supposed to be there, but I remember not seeing it on the box. So if you have any idea if anyone else owns this Kenshin figure and knows if that's supposed to come with that, please let me know so I can know if this is actually messed up or not. And this native figure of Aoba from Dramatical Murder, I cannot show the entire thing to you for not safe for work purposes, so we'll only be looking at this part of the figure. But there's all these nails that go in the heart behind him, and unfortunately just in moving in life, you can see a couple, there's a hole right there that I've just lost the nails to over time, and originally they were all in the correct spot, and I don't even know if these are in the original design spots anymore. I think I'm missing about 3 of them, but like I said, unfortunately I cannot give you all a close-up version of this figure because you cannot see any more of it. Another Aoba figure that is messed up is this little dog that comes with the Nendoroid. His head broke and it fell off all the time, so his head is super glued on there. And then, speaking of Dramatical Murder, we also have this Noise Nendoroid. I've always just been really sure that this is bootleg. He doesn't actually pose very well at all. None of the pieces he came with actually were interchangeable. So I just set him up with his box. Even when I look, it always feels like the detail on these is just not what I've ever expected from Nendoroids, even if it's an older one. I still accept it because the Noise Nendoroid's extremely expensive at this point, but yeah, I've always been really sure that this one's bootleg, and I just enjoy it anyways. And then we have my Joker and Morgana from Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. The only thing wrong with this is Morgana's foot broke off of the base here. I keep thinking about super gluing it, but I'm just tired of super gluing my figures, so I just kind of leave them here. From afar, I really just feel like you can't tell. I did originally get this figure without the box, secondhand, so I guess something like that's inevitable, right? Next up, we have this Nargacuga from Monster Hunter, and no matter what I do, this feather just comes right off. It's supposed to go in this slit right here. I'll shove it in there a million times and it just comes off. At this point, I'm actually just kind of done with this one because it's not something that I could super glue or anything because then he'd never be posable again. So, yeah. Akachu! What are you doing, Akachu? She's been caught and now she wants out. And then down here, a couple of my really older Play Arts Kai. This Crisis Core Cloud. I believe our roommate's cat got this at one point. I actually had another Advent Children Cloud that was completely destroyed by my old roommate's cat. And I believe that this was the same problem. And this Squall Leonhardt right next to him. Again, this figure is just really old. And you can just see how his hair has just gotten kind of messed up. I don't know if this one's been chewed on, but just kind of, you can see the wear and tear in both of them. And then this Play Arts Kai of Lightning from Lightning Returns actually still looks really nice, but she's supposed to have a shield, and the shield broke. There's no longer any way to attach it to her arm whatsoever. So I just display her without her shield, and she looks fine, but I miss it and think about it more often than I care to admit. And then over here we have this Y'shtola from Shadowbringers Bring Arts. And the moment I got her, her tail is supposed to go into this socket, and it never fit into the socket. It wasn't the same size, so that's entirely on Square Enix. And so I superglued her tail in there. Again, that's one of those things that pisses me off about figure manufacturers, but definitely don't feel like the value was diminished by having a superglue it or anything. Down here, I'm scared to even touch it, but this Alfino, he is no longer holding this book. I just kind of have it resting there, and it falls all the time. I'm going to try and set him up for display, but it scares me. And then lastly, this very, very old Tidus figure. My husband got this when the game first came out. I lived in Wyoming, so I didn't know such things existed. He's supposed to have Brotherhood attached to his hand right here, and that broke off. And his leg is also super glued in there. For the longest time, we just had him standing on his leg, but I eventually gave up, super glued him in, and now he stands up pretty well, but he does look a little boring without that Brotherhood he's supposed to have. And then this last Guardian figure, I don't know where these stains came from. At some point, they just kind of appeared. I 100% blame my cat because she loves to get up here. And this boy, the boy that goes right on the top of him, I did super glue him in there. The cat would knock him off all the time, and it just frustrated me to no end. I didn't want to have to super glue it, but at that point he'd come out so much he felt really loose, and you can even see that, you know, his quality's diminished a little by how badly he's been handled, unfortunately. But still love it. Just, you know, can't help but think about it sometimes. And then over here we have Shiranui by First Four Figures, and I really hate to say it, this is one of my more beautiful, expensive pieces. But again, my cat is 100% to blame. She comes up here. I don't know where one of these is. I keep imagining I'm going to find it in storage or behind something one day, but one of them is missing. And it's supposed to have this little guy on top. You can see where he's supposed to attach right there. And I actually recently rearranged this entire room, and he fell to the bottom. So unfortunately, he no longer has a little guy. I have super glued him on there more times than I can count. He no longer even goes in there properly. He was barely on there last time I got him. And if we look really carefully at the bottom of my collection here, you can see him way back there. Behind Corin, you can see him. And I've just given up with that. He can live back there until I move. I'll just accept the Shiranui figure as he is. Again, the last one that I absolutely hate to admit to you guys, this is the shame in all of our collections we don't like to admit. Last time I was moving, someone handled Priscilla badly, and her horn broke off. It is a clean break. It's super glued back on, but this figure is extremely expensive, and I'm extremely upset about it. The same thing unfortunately happened with many of these swords. You can see this one in the back no longer has that tiny flip on the end of the hilt, and the edge of both of these hilts have broken off and been super glued back on. And again, that was entirely in my cat, and there's nothing I can do about it. No one would know looking at this from the front. It's just that small thing in the back that's noticeable, but this is the best piece in my collection, and I can't believe that it got messed up. All right, everyone. Well, that is it. My shame is laying open for you all to see. Really, I still think the only one that actually bothers me is Deadpool and Wolverine, and so I'm going to have to live with that. But everything else, I feel like just kind of disappears and doesn't end up bothering me that much, that I have these little imperfections in my collection, whether it was the bootleg ones or a couple I had to fix with super glue. But thank you all so much. Let me know if you think that any of my figures aren't worth anything anymore. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel so that you can see other parts of my collection, or let me know even if there's anything else you saw today that you wanted to see up close in another video. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go punish this thing because she is the one who broke some of these figures. So everyone, thank you again for coming. Her name is Aikachi, and she's happy to be here today. Bye.